The first day of Christmas will be the last day for someone on this cover. Batman. Batman, have yourself a deadly little Christmas. The Blockbuster. Christmas Eve in Gotham. Uptown, the streets are filled with last-minute shoppers and the cheering jingle of chimes. But here, in the forgotten part of the city, the streets are almost deserted, save for a handful of scavengers and their unfortunate victim. And the very special sort of vengeance which lurks in the sheltering shadows. Orphaned as a child when his parents were killed before his eyes, Bruce Wayne trained himself to wage relentless war against crime as the dread avenger of the night, the Batman. Have yourself a deadly little Christmas.
No. Oh, no. Please, don't do this. Every penny I have in the world is in that pocketbook. Please. Oh, please.
Don't you worry, Nundall. We got good use for that green. You have a Merry Christmas now. Here.
Well, that's it. It's all over. I've tried. God knows I've tried. But I just haven't got the strength to go on fighting anymore.
What was with that chick? We could have done a whole lot worse than just snatch her purse.
How'd we do, Joey?
$5? All we got was 5 lousy bucks? Come on, let's get out of here. Maybe uptown we can still find us a plump pigeon with a wallet full of Christmas shopping cash. The night is young, and we're still... Huh? What was that? You got me, Joey, but whatever it is, it's rip-roaring mad. Don't know what you're doing here, sucker, but you got 3 seconds to split before we split your skull. The massive mute's response is instantaneous and most emphatic. Cripes, this freak's as strong as Superman. But there's no way he's as puncture-proof. Cut that sucker, now. Deadly steel flashes through the air, but only briefly. Okay, fella, you win. You want that $5 we grabbed? You got it. Only just don't hurt me, huh? Once again, the brute's response is straight and to the point. Then, almost tenderly, the monstrous figure picks up the discarded pocketbook and lumbers off into the night. The tears have frozen on Kathy Crawford's cheeks when, at last, she returns to her run-down rooming house. The winter is so much colder here than it had ever been back home in Pittsdale, she thinks to herself. Especially tonight. Tonight of all nights.
Home, sweet home. It's not really much to show for all my efforts, is it? One miserable rented room, furnished in early poverty. Seemed like such a promising dream in the beginning, moving to the big city, being on my own for the first time in my life, making something of myself. I'm sorry, Mama, Daddy. Sorry I've been such a disappointment to you all my life. I tried to be what you wanted me to be, but I couldn't even succeed at being what I wanted me to be. I couldn't succeed at anything. Forgive me, folks, but there's only one thing left for me to do.
And several minutes later, at Gotham City Police Headquarters. Hello, Sergeant Lansky speaking. Can I help you?
No, I only called because I had nobody else to talk to. I just wanted to say goodbye.
Instantly, Sergeant Murray Lansky starts talking, his voice soothing, almost plaintive, for he knows he has to keep this caller on the line, or risk losing her forever. While upstairs, in the office of Police Commissioner James W. Gordon, blasted paperwork. Even on a holiday, it never seems to end. I should have just let it sit there until Tuesday. Not you, Commissioner. You're not the type to quit before the job is done. Well, as the kids say, Batman, it takes one to know one. Merry Christmas, old friend. And the same to you and yours, Commissioner. I just stopped by for a minute to give you your present. The usual, I take it. What else? So long as you keep smoking that pipe, you'll always need tobacco. And I've made the usual donation to city charities in your name. We really are getting set in our ways, aren't we? Come on, I'll walk you to your car. And moments later, as Gotham's two most famous crime fighters stroll towards the parking lot. And a happy holiday to you too, O'Brien. Excuse me, Commissioner, but I could use a hand over here. What is it, Sergeant Lansky? A potential suicide, sir, and a young one from the sound of her. Death never takes a holiday, does he? Not even this one. Do you mind if I try talking to her, Sergeant? Well, please, Batman, I'm afraid I'm starting to lose her. Her name is Kathy. Kathy, before you hang up, please listen to me for a moment. I have a very important question I want to ask you. I'd like to know why.
Because I'm tired of waking up day after day to face a world that doesn't want me. Because I'm tired of trying to push a snowball up a mountain. Because I'm a coward. That's why. A frightened little coward.
Kathy? Kathy! Blast, she hung up. I've lost her. Did you manage to complete the trace, Sergeant? Yes, Batman, you kept her on the line just long enough. Here's her address. I'm on my way. You'd better send a squad car and an ambulance along as well. I'll meet them there. Anything else we can do, Batman? Considering what night this is, you can pray for a miracle. The phone call was a mistake. Kathy knows that now. But in a little while, it won't make any real difference. Already, the room is beginning to ripple and blur around her, and unexpected noises ring in her ears.
Huh? There's somebody knocking at the door. Please, go away. Leave me alone.
But this is one late-night caller who will not be denied. Shyly, like some timorous child, the monstrous figure offers Kathy her precious pocketbook. But it is a gift which comes far too late to help her. Fearfully, the behemoth kneels at Kathy's side, his feeble mind churning in confusion. Why does she just lie there? Is she hurt? Has he somehow hurt her? He does not know. There is so much he does not know. But of one thing, at least, he is certain. If he cannot help his pretty young friend, he will find someone who can. Like some night-born predator, the Batman soars high over Gotham, making infinitely better time than even the fastest police car or ambulance. Below him, the snow-covered streets are filled with light and love and laughter. And the masked man wonders at the irony of a young girl wishing to end her life, even as the whole world celebrates another life's beginning. But he does not have time to wonder long. This is the address, but something's wrong. The front door has been torn clean off its hinges. The place is empty, but there's no sign of a struggle. Maybe Kathy changed her mind about killing herself. Maybe she just decided to. No. If Kathy took enough of these, I've no time to waste. I've got to find that girl, while there's still a hope of finding her alive. If Kathy wandered off in a daze, the snowfall will make it that much easier for me to track her. I see Kathy's footprints leading to the front door, but the only prints leading away from the house are monstrously huge and frighteningly familiar. But it can't possibly be him. S.T.A.R told me he was dead and buried. Gotham Memorial Hospital. Even on Christmas Eve, it is business as usual within these stark, sterile halls. The saving of lives is, after all, a 24-hour-a-day job. Huddled in the shadows of the alley across the street, a powerful figure struggles with a desperate decision. Somehow, he knows this is where he will find help for the precious burden he carries. And yet, there are other memories of a building very much like this one, and of terrible, mind-numbing agony. No, the brute decides at last he cannot bring the pretty one to this place of pain. He will simply have to find another place to take her. Somewhere. But midway back along the alley, the brutish creature abruptly pauses as a singularly stunning shadow falls across his path, cutting off all hope of escape. So, the footprints didn't lie. It is you, Blockbuster. Obviously, S.T.A.R's experiments didn't really kill you as they had thought. Now, why don't you just put that girl down before somebody gets hurt? Desperately, the man-brute tries to motion the caped figure from his path. Can't he see how sick the girl is? Can't he see that she needs help? But the Batman does not move. So, reluctantly, the Blockbuster does. That's better. Now, once we get Kathy to a hospital, we'll see about changing you back into the human Mark Desmond. No, not the hospital. It is the place of pain. They will hurt the pretty Kathy there unless something is done to save her. Blockbuster's gone wild. Gotta move. And move fast. Apparently, a side effect of S.T.A.R's experiments has stolen Blockbuster's power of speech. So maybe those same side effects have left him vulnerable to a good, solid sock in the jaw. Should have known better. All I managed to do was bruise my fists. And the odds do not improve as the battle continues. Master of unarmed combat that he is, the Batman pulls out all the stops. But still, it is he who gets stopped in the end. And even as the Blockbuster scoops up the unconscious Kathy and stalks off, leaving a bruised and battered Batman sprawled in the snow behind him. Any new word yet, Sergeant? Since the ambulance crew called in to say they'd found that apartment empty, you mean? I'm afraid not, Commissioner. Blast it, Batman. Where are you? What in blazes is happening? Time is running out. Half a city away, the Blockbuster wanders the snow-slicked streets almost aimlessly. Where does he go now, he wonders. What can he do to...
Cold. So cold. Where am I? Where? No! Who are you? What are you?
But the Blockbuster cannot reply.
Feel so weak. Oh, so dizzy. Just want to sleep. Please, put me down. Let go of me. You're crying? I'm sorry. Thought you wanted to hurt me. Didn't know you cared.
A soft sigh, and Kathy is asleep once more. The Blockbuster stalks on, smiling. Several blocks uptown, the brute man suddenly pauses, staring in mute wonder at the crimson-clad figure standing before him. Some small part of the behemoth, perhaps all that remains of Mark Desmond, seems to recognize the cheerful bell ringer, and more importantly, seems to understand that here at last is someone who can help him, if anybody can. Then, hesitantly, urgently, the Blockbuster lumbers into the light. My goodness, what's going on here? Oh dear, the girl! Is something wrong with her, my boy? Here, let me take a closer look at... Oh my! This isn't good. Not a bit. This child is terribly ill. We'd better call the police. Get her to a hospital before... Eh? Oh, what do you mean? No, we have no choice. But the Blockbuster is not inclined to argue, and in an instant, he is once more off and running. Police! Help! Police! You've got to stop that man before he gets away! It's all right, officers. I'll handle this. Anything you say, Batman. But if you need our help, if I do, I'll call you. Oh, something tells me we shouldn't hold our breath waiting. Running blindly through the thickening snowstorm, the Blockbuster abruptly stops cold in his tracks to find his way blocked by an awesome expanse of churning water and sprawling ice. The Gotham River, frozen on its way to the waiting sea. For a moment, the befuddled brute hesitates, uncertain of what next to do, and then the decision is taken out of his hands. Okay, Blockbuster, that's just about far enough. One way or the other, it's time we put an end to this. Rage fills the behemoth's heart as the Batman moves toward him. He wants to smash this caped intruder and be done with him forever. But there is still the girl to think about. There is always the girl. Blockbuster, come back. Behind him, his caped pursuer stands waiting. Thus, there is nowhere to go but forward. The ice splinters beneath the Blockbuster's ponderous weight, but it holds. He must be out of his mind. There's no way that ice will hold him all the way across to the other side. I've got to bring him down before he kills himself. And the girl. The Dark Knight detective lands on the Blockbuster's back like a runaway wrecking ball. The behemoth staggers, dropping the unconscious Kathy, and then he goes berserk. The Blockbuster had tried to avoid this, but the caped one kept hunting him, kept hounding him, and now the caped one must suffer for it. While unnoticed by the two combatants.
What's happening? Where? Help! I'm on an ice floe, drifting downriver. What do I do now? Help me, please! Someone help me!
Blockbuster whirls at the sound, the battle instantly forgotten, in lieu of more important things. Muscles bunching, the Blockbuster leaps, his deep-set eyes fixed on the terrified features of the girl he has gone through so much to protect. He will not, he cannot fail the pretty one now. Kathy recoils as the desperate Blockbuster lands on the crumbling ice before her. She flinches as he holds out his misshapen hands to her. But there is something in the man-brute's eyes, a tenderness, an utter devotion that touches the terrified girl. And without hesitation, she comes to him. For an instant, the Blockbuster holds her close, savoring the touch of her tears against his chest. Then, his heart all but breaking, he flings her tenderly away into the waiting arms of an understanding Batman. A moment later, the ice floe is gone, taking the Blockbuster with it down to the cold, dark depths. And, is the girl all right, Batman? Barely, Commissioner. But if that bottle had contained just a few pills more...
That poor man. He sacrificed his life for me. Me, a nobody who's trying to kill herself.
Obviously, he thought you had a lot to live for. Are you going to make a liar out of him?
You mean, am I going to try to kill myself again? No. There's been enough death already tonight. More than enough. He saw something in me. Something worth saving. I think I'll keep trying till I find out what that something was.
That's all he could have asked for, Kathy.
It's so strange, Batman. He died for me. And I never even knew his name. Who was he?
Is it important? Why not just call him the spirit of Christmases yet to be? Goodbye, Kathy. And good luck. Then, as the ambulance howls off into the night, do you think she'll make it this time, Batman? If there's any justice in this world, Commissioner, if there's any justice. And a single burning star in the sky lights their way home. Next issue, Irv Novick returns to the artistic reins as the Dark Knight detective faces Hawkman's greatest foe. Be here for The Ghost Who Haunted Batman. We promise it will haunt you too.